Hey Youtubians, it's Tony here from We Try Anything. The channel likes to try anything, so you don't have to. Today's video, I'm going to be asking the question, which of my watches is the loudest? And more specifically, which of my 10 Casio watches are the loudest? Now this is based on what would be a request that I had from a viewer, in which they mentioned that I've got quite a few watches, or I've featured quite a few watches on the channel, and I've got to admit I've got quite a few in the collection. Why don't I do a video highlighting some of the loudest Casios that I do have? So here it is. Now what you've got to bear in mind is because I'm not a big channel or anything like that, I've only used the equipment and what would be the location that is available to me. So it is in a room in the house, which is the quietest I can find, which is away from what would be the front or the road, as it were, cars passing by, etc. And I've used what would be an iPhone with a app to measure the decibels in which the alarms would sound at, and I've also used a microphone to the left of the watches that you will see, in which I've connected it to the camera that I've used to film this going on, and that allows you to hear those beeps in the audio for the video. Now what I will say, I did have a few technical issues with creating this video, one of them mainly being my microphone, and I'm pointing just at the connection to the camera, where it was a little bit flaky at points. Now in the editing process I could hear it, but it was very dim, so what I've done, I've just pushed the audio levels so you can hear them in the video, but it didn't affect in any way the decibel readings of them watches when they sounded. Now as I say, it's not scientific, it is more of a guide, and the video that will follow this video that you are watching now, I have highlighted, or I've featured every one of those. I think it was 46 watches, I'm just trying to remember, watches that I have measured during the course of the week that's leading up to this video. The other thing you've got to bear in mind is obviously some of them are old, some of the watches are new, some of them in a bit of a condition, obviously being pre-owned, and also the batteries, some of them are brand new, some of them are a bit old or anything like that. So that may skew all, like some of the results that I've got through this. With all that in mind, I hope that what follows gives you a rough guide to what will be the 10 loudest watches that I have in my collection, and some of which are available today for you to buy. And I've got to admit, there's quite a few that kind of shocked me really, because I thought some of the newer watches were louder than some of the older watches, but obviously towards the end it was the other way around. Well, there you go. I hope you enjoyed that. I mean, I tried to keep it as brief as possible, but as you can see, the three watches that really stood out in terms of decibels, which is the Casio A168W, which came as a shock as being one of the loudest. The next one being the Casio AW80, which was as loud as the A168, and then the AEQ110, which I've got to admit is not my favourite watch, but again, it was just slightly lower at 88 decibels. So it was three surprising watches really, because I thought something like the Casio AE1500 with its size would be probably the loudest. And the other thing that stood out to me was some of the watches in which the more affordable watches tended to be the loudest and also had the longest alarms. So it was quite an interesting find really. But I hope this video was of some use to you, and if it was, then please give it a like. It always helps the channel. If you want to see more videos coming soon, with the next video being all the watches I've measured in one video, which I think there's about 46 of them, then click on the subscription button below. And thank you for watching this video, and we look forward to seeing you next time. Goodbye.